Hey everybody, and welcome back. Once again, today is February 19th, 2019. In this video, I'm going to be discussing how the mainstream media uses a numeric code based on dates on the calendar and an ancient occulted language called Gematria, also pronounced Gematria or Gematria, which is the practice of coding numbers into words. This practice dates back to the Hebrew and Greek languages. As it turns out, it's very much well and alive today in English. This practice is very simple. We start with English ordinal in the top left, each letter numbered 1 through 26 relative to its position in the alphabet. The reduction method, also called Pythagorean gematria, reduces each double-digit number to a single digit using the rules of numerology. Both methods can then be reversed to produce ciphers called reverse ordinal and reverse reduction, which are considered complementary to the more standard ordinal and full reduction methods. We'll also be touching on two large number ciphers. These ciphers, constructed similarly to Hebrew gematria and Greek isopsephy, 1 through 9, 10 through 90, 100 through 900. On the right side of the screen, you see Jewish or Latin gematria, based on the original Latin alphabet with more modern characters placed at the end. And all you need to do is pay attention to this language when looking at the news stories that we get through our mainstream media, and very quickly you observe that something very strange is going on. I originally built a calculator to basically prove that this gematria stuff was bogus. Let's just leave it at that. But after a week or two of gematrinating the dictionary, looking at all the dates on the calendar, how we spell them, how we spell our numbers, it became really obvious to me really quickly that this is absolutely a numeric language. So let's begin with the name, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders announcing his presidential campaign today on February 19th, 2019. Using the alphabetic order, Bernie Sanders equals 133. Using the reverse alphabetic order, where Z is 1 and A is 26, the word president also sums to 133. Bernie Sanders running for president for the second time. If you measure from today's date to the date of the next total solar eclipse, which is on July 2nd of this year, you find today is exactly 133 days before it. Freemasonry, the secret society that's running the mainstream media, is obsessed with total solar eclipses. In fact, they were founded by the numbers of eclipses, and please feel free to check out my work on that. I'm going to go ahead and link that post below after I'm done working on this video. The name Bernie equals 35 and 37 in reduction. I find it interesting that he's a senator from the state of Vermont, which also sums to 35 and 37. Again, this video intended to show you that all of these politicians who are running for high office are mostly Masonic puppet actors on strings. And they're not really in control of their own destiny. They're not making their own decisions. They're doing everything by the numeric code that's laid out for them. Bernie Sanders was born on the date September 8th. Measuring from his birthday to the date of this announcement, we find it's 5 months, 11 days. Using the English extended method, the amplified version of gematria here, we find that the name Bernie Sanders equals 511. 511 is a really interesting number in regards to presidential campaigns. You may recall that Donald Trump announced his campaign, I want to say it was on June 15th of 2015. I think it was June 16th, which meant he ran his campaign for 511 days. He was then elected in as president with the 115th Congress. Of course, 115 is the inverse of 511. And his election was held on November 8th, which equals 151 in the alphabetic order. Now, why did I point all this out? Well, if you add 511 plus 115 plus 151, which is every permutation of 151, you get a sum of 777. When Donald Trump took office on Inauguration Day the following year, he was exactly 70 years, 7 months, days old. And think about how much the word chaos is being used in the news lately. The word chaos equals 19. Here we are in the year 2019, and we're getting the chaotic president. So order out of chaos equals 777 in Jewish Gematria. If you were to multiply 7 times 7 times 7, you get a product of 343. So I do find it interesting that in this same method, the phrase second campaign equals 343. Maybe a coincidence. Doubt it. This phrase, order out of chaos, the Masonic motto seen here in this picture, order ab chao from Latin. In the reverse alphabetic order, order out of chaos sums to 222. Measuring from the date that Bernie Sanders terminated his last campaign to today's date, we find it's 2 years, 222 days later. The word chaos equals 46 in the alphabetic order. Bernie Sanders' real name is Bernard Sanders. Check out how Bernard equals 46 in reverse. The name Sanders, also 46. In the reverse alphabetic order, the word chaos equals 89. If you measure from today's date, February 19th, to Election Day, which is November 3rd, 2020, we find it's exactly 89 weeks away. In reduction, chaos equals 19. And think about today's date, February 19th of 2019. Bernie Sanders comes from the Senate. Senate equals 19. The name Bernie equals 109 in reverse. The name Sanders, also 109 in reverse. Earlier we measured to the date that he terminated his last campaign in 2016. That date, July 12th, had numerology of 19. Also, 7 plus 12 equals 19. Another thing that's interesting about today's date, we have two 219 strings, if we're just looking at numerology here. 219 equals 218 in Gematria. And this is interesting because Bernie Sanders equals 218 in reverse. Sanders whipped himself up a nice little motto, a future to believe in. Now, why a man like Bernie Sanders would still be running as president for the Democratic Party, a party that completely slighted him out of the nomination in 2016, is completely beyond me. But again, these politics as we know it, remember politics equals 113 in the reverse alphabetic order. It's all a bunch of bullshit, which equals 113. We're just being fed fiction, 113, and disinfo. The phrase not true equals 113. Not honest equals 113. Dishonest equals 113. Perjury, 113. I think you get the point. It's also no coincidence that Bernie Sanders has the word believe in his phrase, a future to believe in. Well, first of all, this phrase is funny because a future to believe in has a numeric value of 210 and 276. Today is the date that he's launching his campaign, February 19th, which equals 210 and 276. The word believe equals 60 ordinal and 33 reduced. Check out today's date numerology. Primary numerologies of 60 and 33. And the word believe, you always got to look out for this word because the word lie is embedded directly in the middle of it. And this is not a coincidence. Consider the gematria of lie. well, not the gematria of it, but the actual letters that we see. If you were to flip LIE upside down, you get the number 317. Using the alphabetic order, the word lie flipped upside down equals 317. Measuring from the date that Bernie Sanders terminated his last campaign to today's date is exactly 31 months and 7 days, like 317. That date on which he ended his campaign in 2016, July 12th, can also be written 12/7. Not only does the name Bernard equal 127 in reverse, but we're talking about the ancient and accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry. Ancient and accepted Scottish rite equals 127. Scottish rite of Freemasonry equals 127. In Jewish gematria, something I noticed, Scottish rite of Masonry equals 1391. And if you measure from the date he launched his first campaign to today's date, it was 1,391 days ago. The word ritual also with double square gematria of 1391. All right, so the post for this presidential campaign launch of Bernie Sanders is linked below my video. Again, I'm going to look up my post on the founding of Freemasonry and how this was done by the numbers of total solar eclipses. And I'll link that down below as well. All right, everybody. So thanks to everybody who's jumping in. I know this is a lot of live streams for one day, so there's only a few of you watching, but I do have one more to go. And it's going to be the story of this Mexican woman who was found decapitated. Oh, that'll be an interesting one. All right, everybody, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Again, this is censored content, and they would love to wipe this off the internet, so do all you can to share the information. Peace and love, everybody. See ya.